Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how are you?
Doing great. Good to see you.
Good
You
to see
starting?
you. I meant to email you too also because I didn't know if y'all offer a class. I'm new to the MBE, WBE, so I just got my certifications like two
Yes, I
weeks
remember.
ago. Yeah,
Yes,
so I didn't know if y'all offered classes on how to like for beginners like myself that kind of don't really know the process and things like that.
yeah. Well, you got it from City of Houston. They do have classes like just got certified. Now what? They have classes like that, and we'll
Okay,
definitely talk about that. Can you see this video screen?
I can.
Okay, okay. Great. Can you hear the music?
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing? We start. It's kind of
Excellent.
early. We start in 10 minutes.
Great.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is the beginning of the Get Ready workshop number two. Let me first start everything. Great, here we go. So now this is virtual Get Ready workshop number two. It's final prep for Pathways to Prime. Very excited about this workshop. It's not going to be that long, probably about 20, 30 minutes. There'll be plenty of time for everyone to see Abbott Elementary. But one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we do, since we're involved in getting people planning the big event April 17th, is to discuss and just share with people, how to plan to get the best out of the Pathways to Prime event on April 17th. Once again, my name is Goodwill Pierre. First, just to kind of give you an idea of what Pathways to Prime is designed to do, the aim is to increase minority women business enterprise participation in Harris County procurement opportunities by providing technical assistance, training, certification, and bonding support. Um, let me uh, so first let me make sure. Does everyone hear me? Okay. Is
Yes.
Yes, fine.
Great. Okay. So that's the whole purpose of Pathways to Prime and why I exist. Once again, a little bit about me. If you don't know, I'm a lawyer. I've been doing these type of events, on my own since really 2014. I've worked as director of small business development and contract compliance for the Houston Airport System, contract compliance officer, licensed patent attorney, trademark attorney. I also do compliance currently with clients. I've been a sub, I've been a prime. I've helped other construction companies and all sorts of different companies, not so much to navigate through the government space in procuring contracts, but also to determine. I have a game I like to play. Determine if they have a product, how can they sell? So if someone said a caterer or they sell, Gatorade or they do different things, how can you apply that to government contracting? And so those are the things that I kind of assist people with. So before we get started with the presentation, as always, I do a safety moment. When you become involved in government contracting and you go to pre-cons, pre-bids, they have safety moments. One of the things I like to tell people, and this is the designers, is how do you start to speak the language of government procurement and everything, and what does it mean when you're in that space, in that environment? It doesn't matter what you do. Oftentimes you have safety moments. So the first time I got kicked involved in that, I was like, why are they doing safety moment? Why? It's almost like an automatic thing. So you see the big contractors or anything like they do safety moments. So last week our safety moment was mental health. This week we're going to talk about distracted driving. There's no topic that's off limits for safety. And so, from a distracted driving perspective, what is distracted driving? Any activity that diverts attention from driving, texting or using the phone, eating and drinking, adjusting the radio GPS, or talking to passengers. Um, so, with that said, why does it matter? Okay, well, distracted driving causes about 3,000 plus deaths annually in the United States, 23 times higher risk when texting. 5 seconds of distraction at 55 miles per hour equals a football field of blind driving. So what's the message? Stay focused, stay safe to avoid distractions. Tips to avoid distractions. Do not disturb or driving mode when you on your phones. Preset GPS and playlist before driving. Eat or groom before the trip. Speak up as a passenger if needed. Okay. And final note, eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, mind on the drive. Drive like your life depends on it because it does. So that's our little safety moment. Now, here are the learning objectives for this Get Ready workshop. We're going to learn how to prepare for the Pathways to Prime event, what to bring, who to meet, and how to network, maximizing events opportunities, and developing a follow-up strategy to secure contracts. One of the things I'd like to point out before we dive deep into the learning objectives is So it starts April 17th. By next Tuesday or Wednesday, literally a week or longer from the event, we're going to finalize the agenda on the Eventbrite page. It's going to have the names of the contractors, as well as the finalization of the different events. We have about 4 forums and about 4 workshops. And we also going to have an area where people will eat. It's going to be breakfast and lunch. Then we're going to have a room where it's going to be about 30 to 40 different exhibitors. Those exhibitors will be prime contractors. There will be banks or CDFIs, which are loan institutions that help to provide loans like Houston Business Development or Lift Fund. And then you'll have Unity Bank is going to be there. Comerica Bank is going to be there as well, and I think Chase is going to be there. Then you have the Harris County departments. I've got confirmation from the county attorney's office, from the county treasurer's office, from toll roll, from flood control. You're going to have Harris County Housing Authority. You're going to have engineering and public works. Purchasing is going to be there. They're going to have a table. All of the different precincts. We have 4 precincts: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each of those precincts have opportunities within their precincts that you can go after. So, for example, I think Regina, you have a landscaping business. Is that
Yes.
correct? See, I
Yes,
remember
that's
from
correct.
last week. So there might be opportunities in Harris County Central Direct, and their purchasing department is going to be there. But also, all of the different precincts will have opportunities in their parks and or in their buildings and everything of that nature. And so, understanding that will give you an idea of how to go and attack it. And so, you're going to have that list. Well, I just gave you the list because we talked about it today. But you're going to also have resource agencies. So, Women's Business Enterprise Alliance, Houston Minority Supply Development Council. You'll also have other agencies who are not directly Harris County entities, but they are in Harris County. So you're gonna have Metro. You're gonna have Houston Community College, Houston Independent School District. You'll have Fort Bend Independent School District. They confirmed as well. You're gonna also have. This is going to be a very, very large event, larger than you think it is. This is the first official Prime Pathways to Prime event Harris County has ever done. Metro. Also, I got commitment from the Port of Houston. Harris Health will be there. And that's the first opportunity. Then you're going to have the different forums where we'll have opportunities to get you to understand how to master the maze. So that is going to be a workshop in which, or a forum. I call it, there's different forums. There's forums and then there's workshops. The forums are just going to be an open event in the main, on I think the third floor, the second floor, where you will be able to have instructional communication or teaching about how to actually get in and become a vendor with Harris County, how to navigate all the different aspects of Harris County. In fact, next week, to plan, because think about it, it's going to be from 9 to 4, but it's so much information. It's like drinking water from a fire hose. So next week, the Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity will actually host the final Get Ready workshop on the 9th to actually teach you the nomenclature, like what is an RFP, what does an RFQ mean, what is an invitation for bid. These are the type of things that when you go to for the first time, you don't want to raise your hand and ask, hey, what does RFQ mean? What's the difference between an RFQ and RFP? And is an RFQ for the city of Houston, request for qualifications, the same as an RFQ for Harris County for request for quotes? What's the minimum amount that I can send an unsolicited bid in order for before, versus, just having to wait for a bid to come out? What does that look like? How do I get, all these questions you ask, they're going to be discussed on the 9th, so that when you go in to the 17th, the vocabulary won't be new to you, and you'll be able to feel comfortable and just focus on leveraging relationships, building new relationships. Okay. So let's move on now. Because this is not going to be that long, and I don't know how many people we have here. We have quite a few people. So for 14, and it's going to be quite a few. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to ask me direct questions after we're finished. But you can also put questions in the chat, and my staff and my team will be here to help get those questions to me. So let's go on to the next slide. So 70% of business deals start with in-person networking.
Hey, Goodwill, are you sharing? Because you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was. Let me just do this again.
Mm.
I can see the slides.
I can see the screen.
Can?
So
Okay.
I
Good.
thought you can. Okay, thank you. I'll wait for another person. So once again, so as I said before, let me go back to this slide that I had to get. 70% of business deals start with in-person networking. You have to set clear goals. So before going in, now here's another thing I want to tell you. This is the real talk. This is not pretend. You don't have to, show, pretend you're some things of nature. These are times we ask real questions. And so there's some people who are part of this virtual training Get Ready class who work full time, and they're trying to find out, get in where they fit in. The other people who are just going to be leaving from a job because you just got you and your son, or you and your husband, or something like that, doing all the work, and you're going to cut out and leave, and you're going to try and get back real quick, so you have limited time. There's some folks who are going to it's just them. Okay, they do drywall, and it's just them, and they're trying to figure out time. So you got limited time. So don't try to uh, be more than what you are beyond the capacity. You don't have to. If you can spend the whole time there, then you can. If you can't, just make your time there worth it. Whether it's focused 2 hours, whether it's 5 hours, whether it's 6 hours. Okay. So with that said, the second point is set clear goals. Okay. I'm going to meet 3 prime contractors. Now I'm going to give you another thing that you're going to do that no one thinks about. Everyone goes to these events focused on the prime contractors. You might actually go to these events focused on the agency or the commissioner's office. That's good. But why don't you focus also, have another focus on what other businesses can you meet as well? I'm sorry to pick on you, Regina, but I just called you at the first time. So you just got certified, and you do landscaping. I'm sure you've done landscaping before you got certified, right? Or
yes.
what? Yeah, okay. So you now Metro's going to be there. They're going to start putting some things in. So you might want to say, hey, let me see how many other landscaping businesses I can actually find. One of the things that you're going to get from being here. And I'm gonna, I might just release it beforehand. That's something I might do. Usually people wait till after to release it, but I just might release it beforehand. You're gonna get a list of the people who are there, and I think it will be helpful to get it beforehand. The point is, you might want to connect with another landscape person, so that if there's a big metro job, you guys can just join together and build more capacity. Or there might be, a lawyer there to help you do the paperwork that deals with, because once you do a government contracting where private job, like if you do in my house, you just have to bring people in and just, mow lawns, or do or put in mulch or something like that. But when you get a government contract, you have prevailing wages. You got to do payroll once a week. You have to. There's a lot of things in government contracting that changes the dynamics of just what you do in your regular business. Getting certified and being a government contractor is one world that has its own rules, its own set of gravity. Doing things on yourself is another world. So you have to go into with that mindset and be prepared. No one told me. Now I'm a lawyer. I've worked for the city. I've worked for the county, and no one told me this. And I've been a government contractor, and so it's great when you get into something to prepare. Do you have enough money to pay your staff, every single week? How do you prepare for that? That's why we're going to have the CDFIs, Houston Business Development Inc., and a lot of other people to talk about, business loans or lines of credit. Harris County has a, a department or something in which they actually do lines of credit for folks. I didn't even know that, and that's what the whole Pathways to Prime is. How can we equip primes to take advantage of all that the county has for you to grow capacity? Research attendees in advance. Okay, so that's one of the things that's going to be provided. So you'll have a 1 week to research the people that's going to be there. Don't go to the table of Manhattan, and you don't know where their office is. You have not, you don't know what projects they're on here in the city of Houston. Um, if you go meet them, once again, you can talk about, hey, I know that you already have this, like Manhattan. I know you're currently doing the airport Terminal B project. Do you already have all what you need for landscaping, or do you all have what you need for staffing? If not, definitely want to consider, but can I come talk to you to talk about the future? What future projects do you have lined up that you're going to go after? And how can I be a part of that? Can we talk about that? Um, these are the things. That's why you want to research your hand. So when we put out the agenda, full agenda with all the individuals there. So I'll tell you right now. Tell you right now. The first forum is going to be the Mastering the Maze forum. That's going to have Harris County Purchasing there, as well as the Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity, and they're going to go through a detailed workshop on how to navigate the web of Harris County and all their procurement and all their departments and what things mean. Then the next workshop is going to be minority and women business enterprises who have actually started where you are and now are primes. Okay, and they're going to go and tell you how they did it, their failures, their frustration with Harris County, what issue they had to overcome in order to you first get a contract and then grow. Okay, it's going to be a very diverse panel. The next panel is going to be a panel with primes on there. You're going to have McCarthy, McCarthy, I can't pronounce the name right, Manhattan, Spar Glass, okay, and then Tellefson. They all have different projects, and it's going to be what are they going to be looking for? What do they look for in giving contracts out to partners or the subcontractors, and that's going to be there. Then you have tables of individuals who are not going to be on the program, but they're going to just be there. And so getting to understand and know who are going to be there, who are the individuals who are going to exhibit, you'll be able to plan an attack. So I already told you Metro will definitely be there. The Port of Houston will definitely be there. Toll roll, Harris County Toll Authority doesn't be there. Flood control will definitely be there. So one of the things you'll Google and find out, or go to their particular website to get an idea of what in the world does flood control do, or what in the world does the Houston Toll Road or Harris Health. Okay, they got this big project where they're redoing Lyndon B. Johnson Hospital, but what other things do they do? Do they have other real estate that I can do, small projects with, and who do I contact to actually inquire about that? Another trick question I can ask, do you want to ask is, hey, I'm interested in small projects and everything like that. Is there for projects for about $5,000 and everything like that? Do I have to go through a formal bid process? Can I just submit something to do a little, a piece of a project or something worth this amount, this amount? Do I need bonding? These are the type of questions that you ask, okay? What to bring and how to present yourself, okay? Professionally dressed. Now, if you like, so I don't know if you see me, but I have several shirts. So this is one of my consulting companies, Google Pure LLC. I have a law firm. I also have my success in business, the Pierre Foundation. One of the things that I've been told is many people, and this is reality. Everyone want to pretend that we don't live in the real world, but several people have different jobs, different companies. Other people may work full time and everything. Let me first tell you what you do not do. Decide, and there's two ways to do this. Decide what company you want to present. Do not come there with 5 different business cards with 5 different companies. I've been one of those individuals at the exhibit table. I will throw away your cards. Okay, and I'm a nice person, right? Make a decision. Make a decision. Now, you can strategize and say, okay, with these group of people, I'm gonna do my landscaping business. With this other group of people, I'm gonna do my catering business. Okay, but do not go to one individual and give them 5 cards, 2 cards, 5 different emails. No. Okay, just don't do that. All right. Um, the now a lot of people have the ability to communicate via with these little apps to send your business card. That's all good and nice, but there are people at the table who don't want to give you their cell number. They just want a hard card. Okay. Um, Now, don't go, nowadays you can do cards online. I don't think people trip as much. It used to be people really looked and feel your cards and everything of that nature. I don't really think people were concerned about that. So I don't think you have to spend a whole lot of money getting that fancy big business cards with your name raised and everything like that. You go to Office Max, Office Depot, you can go online, just have business cards. And now, different people say different things. A lot of times people have virtual offices, they work out their homes and everything. So a lot of times your business cards may not have an address on it. Okay. It's a mixed bag with that. There are people who like traditional stuff, but I'll tell you this, I'd rather have a business card with your information on it to give to people in your email than not have anything at all. So it's best to have an address, but don't let that stop you or anything of that nature from getting a card. At least they can remember you. One of the things, so elevator pitch ready. Okay. Now, one of the things that's very annoying is that when a person is at a exhibit table and they want to hold the person hostage for 30 minutes while they tell them their business and how many things they did, try to basically brag and try to impress them. You're not impressing them. Okay. Now, you might have a personal relationship with them, and that's something that you might want to do on the side, but you go in and out, you give them 30-second elevator pitch. Your name, your business, you can do your capacity, whatever. If you've done work before, mention that. If you haven't, say this is your first time. Let me pause on that. I have helped thousands of businesses. And in that experience, a business who is very transparent is a business who will get who will eventually get the business. If you go there and fluff and say you can do, $5 million worth of work, and when it comes down to you can't, then that's the person who's not going to get the business. Or if you get the business at one time and mess up, you're not going to get it again. It is okay to be transparent and vulnerable in these particular cases. Now, when you go to them and say, "Hey, I just started my business. I'm looking to break in. What is your recommendation for a person like me to kind of get in and break in?" All right. Just be really open and transparent. 30 seconds. You want to get their information, get their business card. Sometimes, depending on how fast you are, I find that people who are very handy with the iPads and things like that, too, they can type the stuff in. I know that some of the stuff some of the feedback that I've received from people who exhibit, they tend to get annoyed when people are talking all of a sudden and say, hold up, and they look at their phone and want to do it. That tends to bother people. Some people that don't. I think after COVID, it kind of bothers people less, but you may have individuals there who may not be bothered. It is best when you go to the place where the exhibits are, size up. So one of the things I recommend that you do is take a tour of everything. Almost like when you go to supermarket, things of that nature, or go to a flea market, before you settle with this particular vendor, you want to see how many vendors are out there. So your first time you're going to just take a tour, walk around. You know what I mean? If someone stops you, that's a different story, but you want to try not to communicate to people, be friendly to anyone you meet. There might be a person who walks by you and they say hello. Engage with them, because I have found people that did engage, it was kind of rude, or you was kind of focused because you pretend rude but not really rude, and all of a sudden you see that person at a table, an exhibit table, and they were walking around. You want to be pleasant and nice to everyone. Even if someone happens to work for, this is going to take place at the Harris County Department of Education. You might have a person working there, who's a janitor or the facility maintenance person. Okay, you will be surprised how many people watching you. Sometimes I've gotten business from people observing me picking up trash that I did not drop. I got business from one of my clients' enterprise because they saw me do something, and I didn't think they knew no one was looking, and they went and engaged me, and they actually forced me to get business. You have to walk in that place knowing that everyone is watching everything you do. There's a little side. Notebook or app for taking notes. I just talked that. So I like to write things down. Now, when you get their business cards, you write down where you've met them, their name, because you're going to forget their name or you're going to forget where you met them, and you're going to write their name, and then a key point that they might have said. Something they might have said that jog your memory. And here's a little extra stuff that I got, that someone taught me, and I stole it, and it works. In fact, I'm gonna give the name of the person. Her name is Helen Collier, and she's done this for many, many years. And I did it one time. It was great, and people don't expect it. So in the next slide, I'm gonna kind of tell you what to send to them within 48 hours. But one of the things I've actually did is I kind of took a picture with them. I said, "Can I take a picture with you?" You do a little self, take a picture, and then I go old school. I get the little photo paper, and I go and print out the photo paper with my picture on it and everything like that. And I signed and said, "It was really great meeting you. Thank you for taking the time out to come to this event." And you send them the picture. When I worked at the Houston airport system, if I received a handwritten card or a picture, I will pin that picture up on my sticky board. And I'm telling you, 2 times this happened, maybe more, but 2 times I recall, there was a project at the airport, and in the business that they had, the subcontractor couldn't do it. They fell out. They needed someone quick, and they needed a minority business because that subcontractor falling out made them just fall short of their goal. Hey, Goodwill, do you know a person who can do demolition real quick? Oh my goodness, I just met these guys last week. Here, give them a call. This happens, guys. This happens. So yes, while we're doing the formal things, and it's very important to understand the formal route and stuff, you also have to be prepared for a blessing. And that comes with just doing those little small things that distinguishes or separates you from other people. All right. And so that, now I'm not telling you to all of a sudden be a photographer or do things that you're not really accustomed to doing. I'm just telling you one of the things that I actually stole from somebody, and it actually worked for me, because I guarantee you that when the people who you meet are not going to remember who you are. So send them something kind of nice by snail mail, and I'm going to explain that to you, okay? Now, prioritize meeting procurement officers and primes, okay? So prioritize kind of officers and primes. Then first 30 seconds are critical for any good impression. So in other words, if you're meeting someone and your phone buzzes, unless it's emergency or your baby sitting there, that you do not answer that phone. Do not answer that phone. Exchange business cards and take notes on key decisions. Because I know the slides and I'm actually going from real life, a lot of these things I've already said naturally, so I apologize. I go ahead of my slides, but these are real life things that not only I have, but I've coached thousands of businesses, and I'm gonna be, and I actually think saying thousands is really too little, and I guarantee people who follow those things have been very successful. Follow-up strategy. Follow-up strategy. On my screen is kind of small, so I'm gonna go to this other screen to kind of read the follow-up strategy for everyone. So follow up within 48 hours. This is very important. That's why you have to set real expectations on your goal. So if you get 100 business cards and you don't follow up and it's hard for you, then you may have to have realistic goals. But do not let a week go by that you have not followed up. Do not let a week go by that follow up is best. Now, reality, life be lifing. That's what they say now. Life be lifing. And so I say these things, understanding it's theory, but if a week goes by, do not follow up. Okay. I know it's a double negative, but within 48 hours, follow up. Okay. Now, it's best to send personal notes. That's best. I get email all the time, all the time. And I can't follow up. I can't remember the email. Sometimes I don't respond back. You know what I mean? Sometimes in government spaces, people may be afraid to respond back because it holds them accountable. All kinds of stuff. It's great to follow up first with a card. Then after that you can follow up with an email or a phone call to see if they got your card. I find that in my experience in talking to other business owners, it's great to follow up to ask them, hey, did you by any chance get my card? Right? Sometimes they get it and their assistant might put it on the side or it's on a table and they may say no, but then all of a sudden they look for it now because they want to see if you're lying. And then they get, oh, he did give me a card. That is so nice. They don't expect it. In these Twitter days, Facebook, after COVID, no one expects a card to come in saying thank you. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You're not writing a thesis. You're just saying thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you. They will remember, I guarantee you. Here's something new. Connect on LinkedIn if you have it. If you don't have it, get it. Now, as a side note, I do cyber stalking just to find out who they are and things, but don't let them know that. And last thing you do not friend anyone on Facebook or Instagram. Don't do that until you form a relationship, but do it on LinkedIn. They're expected. They're not going to be taken aback. In fact, they'll be very impressed. A lot of people that I meet, I go around and next thing you know, they're on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for everyone. You do not have to be Dr. Lloyd B. LinkedIn. Anyone that has a business should be on LinkedIn, and definitely follow up with them. But then also do a quick search to see how they naturally live, so you can get an idea of who you're dealing with. Finally, schedule follow-up meetings with key contacts. Okay, do not dismiss a person at a table who may not have a title that's impressive to you. If someone pisses off my assistant, they'll never get to me. Okay? Be pleasant, be positive, and be persistent. Pleasant, positive, and persistent. Let me talk about persistence also. So you send an email, you call, follow up with a final email or a card, but do not just kind of be upset or stalking because you don't know, why they might not respond. I would say after the third with no response, then you try another way of getting a hold of them. Because it kind of repels them if you kind of nagging at them a lot. So it's a really thin line when we talk about follow up and people not responding. But but I'm telling you, if you give them a snail mail card, postcard, especially you do the little picture thing, they will follow up. Okay, I've not known anyone who not followed up. So here goes the post event checklist. Everyone, review business cards and notes. I have found when I have found and it's a cultural thing to me. I've studied that, and Asian American friends of mine, when they give business cards, I find that they take the time to actually get the business cards and look at it right then. Many people give business cards different ways. I found that technique to be the most rewarding for me because I'm actually reading. The most annoying thing that you can do is get their business card and then ask them a question that's on their business card. I'm not telling you to memorize it, but just kind of grab it with two hands and take it. Don't go rush because you're trying to hit your quota. Just get it and just be in the moment. Be in the moment, even if it's pretend 10. As another thing I had to learn and I had to get coached on, I claim that I'm very transparent, very truthful. I don't like to play the game. Well, then you may not need to be in business. And this is a hard lesson I had to learn. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York, but I got to Houston as quick as I could. And I always used to pride myself on being no nonsense guy. I didn't want to be, kind of phony, fake. Okay. I have quickly learned that if you're in this business, you have to, even if you had a bad day, you have to portray that which you want people to see. So you had a wonderful day. No one wants to hear that your day was bad. Smile. You had a great day. Car broke down. You lost 5 key clients, business owners. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing awesome. And especially even now because I've just met you. Okay? Don't call it bullshit. Call it you presenting yourself in a positive manner in order to attract a positive response. Okay? And I don't want to be a hypocrite, guys. It took me a long time to get that way. So it's not going to be overnight, family. It's not going to be overnight. And the final thing is plan next steps based on key conversations. Plan next steps based on key conversations, okay? One of the things I want to share with you before we go to a closing slide, and it's something that's very taboo, but because, I'm just going to tell you how it is, family, and I want you to grow, I'm going to hit you with things that you've probably never, ever heard of, okay? Number one, week before, go to your favorite store, whether it's HEB, whether it's Kroger, and get you a bag of spearmint mints and carry it with you. Get a bag of mints. Bring it with you, okay? Have a pen with you. Have some wipes as well as some tissue. Understand emotional IQ. for me, I'm a very large man. Okay, my voice carries, so I have to make it a point to lower my voice. And when I communicate to people, so it won't be so disarming when I'm talking to them. Be conscious of your breath. Be conscious of your spatial relationship. Is it okay if don't just grab on people, touch people, things of that nature? It's not the way to go. Um, unless you just study different cultural competency things of that nature, you're just not going to know as much. So it's best to kind of play it safe. So come with a bunch of mints and put it in your mouth, every hour, so much. We're going to have food there, okay? Getting business is more important than food. Do not grab your food and sit in the corner and eat. You always go back and get food. I recommend this, and it's so funny. Yes, you're going to have great food. We're going to have the Breakfast Club food. It's going to be awesome. But you didn't come to eat. Eat before you get there. Okay, but do socialize and things of that nature. If you're sitting at a table, definitely do not sit at a table and not say hi to everyone, pass out cards to people who may not be primes, who may not be exhibitors. You do not know. I'm gonna pick on you, Regina. You might meet me, and then be like that, and all of a sudden I get your card. Hey, you know what? I need someone to do my lawn.
Yep.
Okay,
You never know.
you never know. Okay. I might need someone to do my drywall. I might need someone to pressure wash my house. And for me, it actually happened. I went to a Metro event, and my wife was just bothering me about getting my back thing and I met someone who had a daughter who do pressure washing, and I used her the next week. Okay. So so right here you got it. That's week 2. Week 3 is going to be exciting. I'm going to be traveling, but Dorita's going to hit that up. But we're going to the presenters of that is going to be Harris County Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity. Is anyone from that department in the thing, Dorita? Okay, and so definitely you don't want to miss that. Tell your friends. If you can, make sure you put the survey link in the chat, Dorita. And then I want to find out if anyone has any questions whatsoever.
What kind of marketing material should they bring?
Great question. Great question. So one of the things here is marketing on a shoestring budget. Okay, on a shoestring budget. And what's exciting about this, what I'm about to tell you, versus like even last year, we have AI, we had ChatGPT, we have all kinds of stuff. So at minimum, okay, you put you have a 8.5, 11, or 4, or even small thing, and you're well, first on your computer, if you don't have it already, or on your website, you're gonna put down a short little capacity. You're gonna put your whole capacity, you copy and paste it, and then ask ChatGPT or somebody, hey, could you put this in about 5 bullet points that I can copy and paste on a one pager so I can leave with a potential client? And at minimum, come with a one pager. At best, you come with a threefold brochure. But a lot of times, folks just want to have your market material. This is an MWBE event, so you definitely, if you are certified, you want to put your certification and your certification number. A cool thing, and I'm a little different, that I'm certified as a disadvantaged business enterprise in 25 states. And so I have on the back of my card, business card, now this might be a little excessive, but I've been in the game about 25 years. I not only have where I'm certified, but I have my NICS codes on the back of my card. Okay. Now it's small lettering, you know what I mean, but it's there. And I've been given a lot of praise for that, because it's great to kind of look and everyone say, see my capacity by looking at my NICS cards and my description of what they are. But that's a lot. I mean, you don't have to go through all that, especially when you have 2 weeks to go do that. But like I said, use AI effectively. Don't just take what you have. Definitely look at it, and they have Grammarly, the correct spelling. What you don't do, please, is don't have anything up there with any spelling errors or anything of that nature. There's a lot of apps and AI that can make sure that you don't have spelling. But like I said, shoestring budget. You just print that baby out and leave it with them. The key thing, though, I want to share with you is that the follow-up by snail mail, as well as any other things that you might do to separate them. And when you're listening to them, always, always, always write down something that they say that's unique so that you can throw it back at them so that they can think that you actually remembered what it is. But all you're doing is look at the card. But because you can't remember, unless you do have that type of memory, then by all means go for it. I don't. I mean, I'm all my synapses are burnt out. So, I write things down and I go back and I reference it whenever I send a postcard or whenever I'm talking to them on the phone. I always go back and reference it. And be in the moment. Any other questions?
And before you go, I did put the survey link in the chat. It's important for us. We received a grant for this, that you complete the survey. That helps us out. It helps us to be able to continue to do this and to bring it to you. And then I'm also just going to drop a note that a few people were commenting about, maybe capability statements or something like that. I know Baker Ripley has some technical assistance available. Those are other people that are a part of the grant with us. And I don't think that the files, Goodwill, your PowerPoint went out last week. So I'll give you the list of people who attended last week and this week so we could send the PowerPoint.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Um, those who attended last week, did they get a notice that the video was ready? That's what I was thinking. Not okay.
It
So
was
what I
in the
would
chat. I saw it. Yeah, in the chat, but maybe not for the guest.
Okay, so what I will do is I will send out once this is ready. I will tomorrow I will send out both videos for you guys. It'll have the notes and everything in it to everyone who attended. And I think also I can put the link in Eventbrite, and you can always go back to Eventbrite. It's in the dialogue thing, and send a little email letting you know that it's ready. Just like today, I sent an email reminding everyone about this. Any other questions? So recap very quickly. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, the latest, you're gonna have a final agenda posted in Eventbrite in the agenda mode. You're gonna have the list of primes. You're gonna have the list of all the workshop presenters. You're gonna have a list of all the other exhibitors, resource agencies. With that list, you're going to plan your day. You're going to make a point to say, I am going to meet with no less than 5 prime contractors, 5 Harris County departments. I'm using 5 as a general number. You can say 3, you can say 10, depends on your stamina and your capacity. So you have resource agencies, you have prime contractors, and you have directors of departments and purchasing managers in every department. Those are the categories, not including yourself, each other. So really 4 categories of individuals. Okay. You're going to get to know. Here's another thing. Here's another side little note. Look, when you go to the commissioner's table, this precinct 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You find and write down the name of at least 2 people in each precinct. That's the cool thing about Harris County, though. If you need help getting a hold of someone, you have your elected officials that can assist you. Now, one of the things, another tip I'm gonna give you, especially if everyone here lives in Harris County, the first group of people you go to is your actual precinct, and you say, "Hi, I'm so glad you're here. I live in your precinct," or "My office is in your precinct," and you get to know them. You get to know them. Um, I know, I don't know if the actual commissioners will be there. I know Senator Ellis has a meeting and he's supposed to come in the afternoon. And then Commissioner Garcia has to be in Austin. But when I spoke to him today, he was going to try to move things around. Commissioner Briones is not going to be available. He's going to be out of town. And Commissioner Ramsey, they're trying to find out if he can get there. And I know Judge Hidalgo, they'll work on a schedule so she can do the opening. Okay. So we're working hard to make sure it's there. But right now, listen, all staff members of the precinct are there, and frankly, they're going to be your bread and butter to find out what little project you can do. You can get a little project in the precinct quicker than you can get a project for the whole county. Okay, more often than not. You can get a project with something might happen with one of the centers or in one of the parks or one of the things that they own, and you can actually do something there to help them, assist them, cater to them, train, all kinds of stuff. And they have current people doing work. I know one project for Precinct 2, they have disaster recovery training and everything like that. There's opportunities that you don't see that might be available from the prime contractors currently doing work for the precinct. Okay, so for example, the one of the disaster recovery, they do training. Okay, they might need someone real quick to print out some things. You might be able to do a printer. You might have a printer service, and so so one of the questions might, hey, are there any individuals or any companies who currently doing business in your precinct? Do you think that they need assistance in doing anything that they might have a contract to do? Or something of that nature. So these are little things, little nitpicks, little nuggets that you're not going to learn, you're not going to know in different ways, which you can actually find outside just the normal day-to-day how to do business. These are little inside type of ways in which you can utilize your presence there to make inroads to getting opportunities. Because in the end, we want projects, we want to get paid, we want to grow, we want to make that money so we can be richer than we already are. Am I wrong, or someone on here just want to just hear my voice? Great. Do you have another question for the people?
Yeah, we're trying to clean up the registration. And just so you know, that if you didn't complete all of the survey questions, you're going to get an email from us. Please make sure you do that because that will slow you down on the event day because we have to have it for the county. So if you get an email from Eventbrite or from us to say, please complete your registration, try to do that as soon as you can. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chem. I appreciate the comment. Nikita. Is this the same Nikita from Unity Bank or another
No.
Nikita?
Oh, let me see. Let me see. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, it's Nikita Gates from Executive Search Recruit. I'm an executive recruiter, small
Oh,
business.
great. Oh, gotcha. Yes, yes. Yeah, a lot of people. Your business should be doing real good now.
We hope.
Yeah, that's
Why
great.
do you say that? It should be doing good right now.
Yes, because a lot of folks who don't have the capacity to actually have a staff or pay people, they go through staffing or recruiting or things of that nature. If you have the capacity to staff versus just finding people, so that's
Right.
just depending on how you do your business. One of the things that you should one of the things that's very helpful, and I know I've used staffing companies often, is that your ability to work with how they get paid can ensure that you get more contracts. So in other words, when you have a contract with any government entity, you submit an invoice, they review it. They take 15 to 30 days to pay your invoice once it's approved. So being able to grow with that will be very, very helpful in you doing work. There's not one housing project in Harris County that does not have a staffing firm attached to it for labor or anything like that. I know you said executive recruiting. I do know. I
Right.
don't want you to know I heard
Direct
what you said.
placement. Yeah,
But
direct
placement,
placement.
yeah. But in general, there's that, and I know for the city and for the county, they do have requests for proposals for executive recruiting of things, or search firms and everything like that to find individuals that they can recruit for different positions. So there's opportunities there. Um,
Thank you.
I know of one company, the dialysis center, minority owned dialysis center, got a project with the jails. Okay, another person who does food things of that nature, does food services, also got a contract with Harris County jails. Don't slip on the different ways that or different opportunities to get work and projects and contracts with the county. And that's why we're having these master amazing demystifying. I don't think the justice will be there. I'm gonna make a call to them to have a table, but there are many county being so large. There's opportunity for you to get business somewhere somehow, and if not directly with Harris County, with the precincts and with the other entities that reside in Harris County, like Metro, like Harris Health, like the toll road, like flood control, like engineering services. They're all going to be there.
Awesome. Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dorita. We appreciate you guys. I do have a
Any other
question since
question?
we're
Yeah,
talking.
go ahead. Ask the question.
How often do we have these forums, and do you feel like the new administration will affect these offerings to minorities?
Are you talking about the
This-
administration in Washington, D.C.?
yes, sir.
I haven't formulated an opinion about that to be credible for this, but I do. But to answer your first question, so we're I this I don't know how long they offer it now. With Success in Business, I offer these workshops, quite often. The next big thing I'm going to do is Juneteenth in Galveston, a Juneteenth procurement forum. I also am contracted to do one in Missouri City on October 17th. So the one for Juneteenth is going to be on Friday, June 13th. That's free. And then it's going to be Missouri City Procurement Forum, MW Procurement Forum. That's going to be on October 17th or 18th, whatever that Friday is. I can't think of it. Um, that's the date. I think it's the 17th because last year was the 18th in October City. And then I often do things for some of my clients. So Manhattan is one of my clients. I have three staff members on that project. So they do industry days, which is kind of different from these learning forums. This is something extra that I'm doing as a forum. Like I did the basics and everything like that. I'm probably going to do another basics after this event is over because you'll be surprised at people who have businesses and everything like that, the kind of basics. For me, I had to go to a class to understand QuickBooks on my financing to kind of assist me in just understanding what a profit, whatever statement is, or finance statement is, or cash
Yeah.
flow things. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so be on the lookout. Look for emails from me about different opportunities. Most times they're free. If they're not, they probably cost $25. And that's another thing. The resource center. So you had a question concerning the administration. There are some of our resource centers who are having challenges, but they are around to kind of help you. So the Women's Business Center, as part of Women's Business Enterprise Alliance, they have training. The Apex Accelerator, University of Houston Apex Accelerator, they have these type of trainings all the time for free or nominal cost. There's also the SBA is going to be there. I forgot to mention them. The Small Business Administration is going to have a table there for those who want to go into 8A loans or 504 loans if you want to buy property. They also talk about their training. Their whole presence and existence is to respond to the question, how can federal agencies help you do business with Harris County and do business better? The IRS will be there. Okay. The IRS is there. We'll have a table specifically to address their issues that you may have, as well as to share the programs they have to help small businesses. Okay. She's committed to be there and have an exhibit table as well. And she will also be on the panel that we'll have concerning SBA and IRS to help people do better business with Harris County. So it's going to be great.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that information.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We appreciate you guys' support and passion for us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is what I do. Any other questions?
It says, please, can you speak to cybersecurity related training, compliance programs, contract opportunities that might be available in Harris County?
So I'm going to answer your question in two ways. From a Harris County perspective, they do have a IT department. Okay, I don't know if they're going to be there or not, but I'm going to someone's going to take a note for me. Someone here, one of my staff members or somebody can take a note to contact Harris County Information Technology. They service all the departments there, and then I think each precinct have their own IT department individually. I think. Um, that's a great question to kind of inquire. There's not going to be a particular workshop on cybersecurity there, but about 2 years ago, I mean more than that, as time goes by, before the pandemic, I did have a big workshop where I invited all the CTOs and CIOs from all the different government entities to come and speak about it. They have not had anything like that since the pandemic. So I think there's a great opportunity to bring that back to talk about it. I also had one event, Dorita, 3 years ago in Missouri City for the Missouri City procurement, where I had to talk about cybersecurity and IT. So I might do a workshop on that, in October. But in general, I think there's a good opportunity to do something about that. I have not seen a workshop like that since the pandemic, where they had all the CTOs from all the different government entities to talk about opportunities and upcoming things in the horizon of cybersecurity in this area. So I think that's a great workshop and opportunity. It won't be an opportunity to speak on that in this setting though. But please do me a favor, keep in touch with me. Whoever asked that question. Oh, wait a minute, I know that name. I know that first name. Don't I know? I know that first name. So just reach out to me so that maybe we can work together to kind of plan something for that, like that for everyone. One of our partners could probably help in doing that. Maybe that's something we can talk to Baker Ripley about to see if they can we can assist them in putting that together. I think it's time to talk about that now, especially with AI in the mix. Before the pandemic, we didn't talk about AI existed. We didn't talk about it. Now I think it's a great time to bring that up. Kind of formally in Harris County. Great question. Thank you for asking it. Any other questions? You guys are
None of the
y'all are for a long one. Well, 6:55. We have 5 more minutes. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I didn't know if maybe there was one more person that wanted to kind of give you a shot at helping them determine what kind of opportunities might be available. I like to hear you do that if they're not sure. That
Oh,
would
you
be a
want me
good
to do that
person.
game? You got me on the spot. What Dorita's
Yeah.
saying is somebody, especially a person who has something that they're not sure of. I've done it many times before. It's almost like you call out what you do or what you want to do, and I come back and I connect the dots real quick and tell you the
Okay.
type of things you can actually go after as far as business in the government space. So I'll try it
Okay.
one time.
Is
My
that
name is
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth,
Yeah, there
and
we go.
I'm with
One at a time. One at a
Mid-America.
time. Who's speaking?
Elizabeth.
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 Okay,
Yes,
Elizabeth.
sir.
Okay.
Okay, so my name's Elizabeth, and I'm with Mid-America Contractors. This is a little bit of a new space for me. I have spent my time serving oil and gas sector, but I really want to get into more of the government contracting, and I am absolutely green in the process. Like I have no idea how to even begin. So I'm super grateful for this training. One, there's obviously some things that I've already got kind of in place, but being able to, kind of get this training ahead of this pathway to prime is ideal for what transition I'm trying to make as I navigate that new sector per se, right? Because
I-
I mean, it is as easy as it may sound. It is, even though I've done this for a while, as in have a client base, this is a whole new ball game.
It is. Well, it is in some respects. It isn't in other. One of the things I'm gonna ask you a question, but then I'm gonna say something because you made me think of something. The question I'm gonna ask you, Elizabeth, is to share with me the type. Give me an idea of the type of construction. Is it like hard construction? Is it soft? Is it project management? Is it what? Tell me in what space. I used to be general counsel for a construction company. I work a lot with them, so you'll be interested to know that I'm kind of into that world very deeply when it comes to protecting my clients who do construction. But I need you to get more detailed if you can on what type you build.
I think if you ask me what my forte is, it is going to be roofing.
Roofing. Okay, great,
Yes,
great.
sir. That
Okay,
is what we are, very good at.
okay, great, great. Okay, so I'm gonna say something. That I'm gonna connect with you. First of all, it's very very easy. You're gonna get a lot of money. Just with Harris County, but all places. I want to say something though that I should have said last week. I'm gonna say this. When you are an entrepreneur, when you are a business owner, you are actually doing two things, especially if you're a small business owner. You are running a business. So the business of the business, whether it be payroll, whether it's paying your taxes, whether, I talked about different types of taxes too, your personal property taxes. I talked about all that last week. And then you're doing what your business does. So for example, I'm a lawyer. Now I have hired two other attorneys this time, but before I was just me. So I was running my law firm business, and then I was doing trademarks, doing contracts. So understand that you may be good at what you do, but may not be good at running business. So you have so the idea of the entrepreneur is kind of improving on the entrepreneur part, the business part, and then as well as because sometimes you may not be able to juggle it. It is everyone does it though. By the way, everyone does it. So it's not anything that's impossible. But there is the business part of the business, and then is what the business does. And a lot of times that's very frustrating. I have whole sections on mental health and things that people didn't talk about. It's very critical to understand that you're not alone. But Elizabeth, so one of the things I would focus on is the housing, community development block grant housing. So in Harris County itself, through I can't think of the department right now, but also the Harris Housing Authority, in the city of Houston, of course, in community development, they get money to do housing, multifamily housing. Roofers are always needed, especially if you are a woman-owned business, Section 3 employer, and especially if you have apprentice program opportunity for that, then you will be used in all the businesses, and every one of those multifamily housing projects need good roofers. Um, One of the challenges that I find between people coming from the private sector into the government world is pricing. The pricing for the private sector is larger than pricing in the government sector, especially as a competitive bid. So the things I recommend that I would do is, number one, look at what housing projects are going are up, and then you find the I call them your competitors who are on that project now. Who's on that project now? They can't find enough roofers. Just that can't find enough AC people. There's so much development going on. Same thing with landscaping, by the way, Regina. So if I was to focus, if I was to find out what is my low hanging fruit, it would be housing, community development as it relates to roofing. That's my low hanging fruit. Don't accept all the big trees now, but definitely the low hanging fruit. Staffing is always a challenge. Government. I don't know if you heard, but one of the things in government contracting versus private is that you're required to pay your folks every week. It's certified prevailing wages, certified payroll every week. If you don't have the capacity, that's my consulting firm. I have like 4 businesses, guys. I actually do that for prime contractors as well as small businesses. But a lot of times you don't have the money or the capacity to do that, so you wind up doing certified payrolls late at night after you get home from putting up a roof. Okay, so understanding the nuances of what was required in government contracting is more challenging than actually putting a roof on the house. But the low hanging fruit would be housing, and what they have and what they're coming up. So in the current administration going on right now has not halted. There's housing projects going into 2030 that are ready and planned that you can position yourself to go. You would position yourself with the developers. So you do the research and it's out there. You can go to the Harris County website, their Harris Housing Authority. You go to one of the commissioners meetings for Harris. There's 2 different places in Harris County. I mean, there's a lot of different. First of all, every city, even Fort Bend has this type of makeup. But I'm focused on Harris County. But the city of Houston does too. Um, you want to it's the Harris County Housing Authority and Harris County. Okay, so multifamily housing could be built through Harris County, and then can also be built through Harris County Housing Authority. Then when you go visit some of the commissioners, you can ask them, hey, what are some of the multifamily project housing projects that's going to be happening in your district in the next couple of years, and you start moving yourself into being known by some of the people doing work on a project going on. Hey, would you guys consider doing it? You find out once the project is out, how much they're paying people is public knowledge. So you find out what roofing company made, and you make sure that you don't bid anything higher than that. Was any of that helpful, Elizabeth? Did I put this?
Yes, sir. And I can't agree with you more on the whole pricing thing. I think that's one of the things that I'm going to have to, get more versed in and understand before I just dive in, because I could really miss it, right? The whole weekly certified payroll. I'm grateful to say that we currently do weekly payroll, so that's not going to be such a hit. But I think getting the pricing right is what's going to be key.
One of the things to overcome that, I know one of the larger contractors does this, is always buying in bulk and having storage. I know one of my former clients, and this is a new shock. I was shocked. They actually had a whole storage where they purchased in advance furniture and all that other stuff. They kept it in a big storage, so a big storage place that they pay for, and they keep all their whatever they need for drywall, all that stuff in a storage place, and so and that allows them to keep their prices low, and that's something. So if you can do that, if that's something you can do, then that helps as well. Um, Also, with there's possibilities as well with your expertise is to team up with someone. A lot of times, especially what's going on in the labor market now. Hopefully you guys can keep up with me because I don't feel comfortable communicating that out. But there's a lot of things that is going on that is decreasing some of the available labor that has been in the past. And so there's a need for building capacity from a labor perspective. And then that's where I talked to when I mentioned to Nikita, who doesn't have a staffing firm, but a executive recruiter. But that's where staffing firms come in. That's where other roofers come in, and then that capacity type of thing helps. I have another workshop I do about joint venturing and the key and the challenges and everything like that. And that's something to look at. That's another aspect of looking at the legal part of all that and making sure you keep your money versus giving away or winning lawsuits. But I
Um,
hope that was some helpful. I hope that was.
Maria Gallo Blanco asked the same question. I just want to make sure, did that answer the question for you also, Maria?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay,
What type of
thank
business you
you.
do, Maria?
Roofing.
Look at that. Maria, meet
Still,
Elizabeth. Elizabeth, meet Maria. You guys have some coffee sometime soon, and,
yeah.
and and talk shop, talk business, and get a strategy on how to attack. But now, having said that, you going into and with Elizabeth, also with something like McCarthy or Manhattan, they with projects that they do, you're going to have to do bonding. And that's a whole nother level of credit score and things of that nature. So that's something to look at as well. I know Manhattan for the airport project doesn't require people to do bonding, but for some projects like Lyndon the Johnson Hospital, bonding definitely is required. I believe. So sometimes you have it, sometimes they don't, but it's something to think about.
Well, definitely appreciate the insight. And Maria, yeah, I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Hopefully, we can connect at that Prime event.
Okay. Any other
Um,
questions? Yes.
and you may let everyone go because we're pretty much done, but there were two about like, what do you think there's available for youth programs? And then one for custodial company.
Okay, the Juvenile Justice Department youth programs definitely there. Juvenile Justice, Harris County Juvenile Justice. They always look for individual come in, and now this is a little when I it's ironically that question is asked because I've actually helped someone do that, and you got to do it. Sometimes they have groups that come in to talk about the youth there already who are still locked up or who have to come in all the time. That get they're I think they have a big thing on 59. If you look to the right, there's a big white building that they the juvenile justice, but they have a need for people to come in and be mentors, but then they also have opportunities for you to actually have people as part of your program. Also, Harris County, and they're not part of it, but I know one, and I don't know how if it's still going on, but this is pre-pandemic. The precincts, the JPs. They also, I know one in particular, I had a person who had a business and they actually did work for Precinct 1 JP when Zanetta was there. They actually had a program that they were paid and they had a youth program related to that they actually did. So that's easy entry that you can inquire about at least. The other thing, Dorita, you said is juvenile and what else?
Custodial company was next,
Oh,
and then
that's easy. That's
career
easy.
coaching.
Okay. And you said career coaching? Yeah, the custodial. I mean, one thing about custodial is you have to be malleable and you have to kind of sell yourself outside just what people think custodial services are. So when if a person asks that question as a custodial service, generically, you might want to put a capability statement that includes project cleanup. You'll come in and usually they have when they go in big projects and everything like that. They have the throwdown area, they have the site, then they have the porta thing. I don't know what they have, but just do anything clean that, anything clean the trailers, anything like that daily, whatever they have, anything related to that will be good. And of course, you have the departments and their contracts, and you have the people who are there. You have one of those professional opportunities that you should become what you could give business cards to every single person you bump into. Okay, every person you come into, and then let the business determine how you communicate the capacity of your business. So in other words, if you get somebody that if Metro comes and they need someone to come and they need someone to clean power wash their bus their areas where people wait, the train stations, right? Then that's how you morph your capability statement to go after that. Okay, get yourself a couple power washers, and that's your custodial services. So I think you have the a type of business that can morph to any type of place that requires a type of custodial work to be done. Okay, as far as the professional coaching or anything like that, once again, if every government has EAP or anything like that, or ways in which they coach, that's something. So, for example, the tax assessor's office, okay, they just got some money to hire a whole lot of other people. They might need some professional development. You might have to go after the county treasurer. Dr. Kalawai is going to be there, and so there's opportunities for you to kind of pitch something in. I will go in and kind of throw something in there for under 5 grand, and see. The difference from the county though is every expenditure has to be approved by commissioner's court. Unlike the city, where if you go under 45, 49999, they can just select you for unsolicited proposal. And so that's the uniqueness of the county. There's not $1 that can be spent without it be approved by commissioner's court. And so, but you can still make the pitch, and if it's in their budget, you can. And so a lot of these counties with a lot of employees, the sheriff is going to be there as well. So I would look for places that have hierarchy type of things where people have to be trained, sensitivity training, all kinds of cultural competency trainings, because I don't know what type of, I don't know the nuances, but that's in general that you can actually look into. But there's opportunity for you to kind of go in. I think with that, it's not going to be something that's going to be laid out. You may not necessarily get a RFP that's out there, but if you look, in fact, if you go to this is amazing that I remember this. It's kind of scary too. There is a RFP out right now for training or professional coaching right now in Harris County on a Harris County person. If it's not still there, then it's something that passed. You can go and look at what they have so you can be ready. But there's an art. I was looking through it, just kind of glancing, trying to find different primes so I can send them invitation, and I happened to see something there. Of course, I didn't think about it because I don't do that work. But when you said it, the membrane of my brain remembers seeing it. So if you go right now to the was it Bovie or whatever the thing is? I forgot the name of what they use. You go in and you
Bonfire.
Bonfire, yes, and you
Okay.
go in and search. There is a RFP out there right now for what you just asked. Amazingly, the fact that you asked it, it's amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so very much.
Okay, great.
Thank
Okay,
you.
y'all
And I,
gonna let
I,
me
I
out.
think that next week,
The reason.
bonfire, I think the
Oh,
county's going to talk about that on April 9th at the next
yes,
meeting. Is
yes.
bonfire, how to get in it, why, how to look for things there, and where the opportunities are. So come back next week.
Perfect, perfect. Any other
That's it.
questions? Well, I want to thank you. You've been a great audience, great group of learners. If you have any questions, you can always email me, please, at info@pathwaystoprime.com or info@successinbusiness.org, successinbusiness.org. The chat will still be open for you to respond, or you get my emails probably 15 times a day. You can always reply to the emails. I actually do read responses, believe it or not. Okay? Thank you so much. And as always, I wish you success in business. Be blessed and have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank
Don't
you,
forget to do the
Dr.
survey,
Rosemary.
guys. Don't forget to do the
See
survey.
you guys on the 17th, doing the survey now.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.